Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Good afternoon and welcome to our match week 10 in the Senol NPLW for our Anzac Day broadcast. As we can see, we will be going radio silent due to the minute silence that is now taking part. As we were saying, just about to have a minute silence there, given today's very almost sacred meaning upon the Australian national calendar, and of course our neighbours across the sea, New Zealand, being the anniversary of the infamous, almost apocalyptic Gallipoli landings, which cemented national identities of two young emerging nations and saw horrors that tragically are all too often repeated across the world. But here today, we've certainly got a message of peace, a message of love, maybe not so much love for 90 minutes, but nonetheless one of strong community and unity for us all. It is match week 10 in the Senol NPLW. Today for you, we've got Melbourne City versus Preston, and what is already a relegation battle, so that you don't normally get to hear so early on in the season. But if you look at the table, both points just on that very, very delicate precipice from the drop zone. At this stage, the only thing that is dividing these two sides is a matter of goals, with Preston slightly more fortunate of the two sides, only minus 10 going to match week 10, Melbourne City minus 20, both on 6 points. Though if you look at their recent performances between these two sides, you'll say City certainly finding their shape, finding a bit of momentum. They've managed to have 2 wins in their last 5 league appearances, including last weekend's 5-1 demolition of a seemingly already relegated Bentley Greens. As for the visiting Lionesses, well, they've only managed just a pair of draws in their last 5 appearances. But that does include a 1-1 draw against what was at the top of the year a very popular candidate for finals football come the end of the regular season in Avondale, a side presently slipping away from that top 4 in what is getting increasingly competitive at the top, and equally increasingly competitive down here towards the bottom of the table. Now, two sides this afternoon have a number of changes, some for positive reasons, some for slightly less positive. Now, we'll start with the visitors. They have 3 changes from their starting 11 from last week, with Yasmin Popovic and Isabella Tribbiano both brought back to the bench. Otherwise, for Olivia Edwards, presently injured after her last weekend's game at Keilor Park, this allows Adelia Papaleo to join the bench alongside her twin sister. As for the City, well, they're missing 4 players. If it was 5, they'll be able to have the game postponed. As we have our first shot on the afternoon, just high on the target there is Klaic. Klaic, another one of those Preston players who last weekend had some injury concerns, was forced off the pitch due to injury, but it's fantastic to see that she's back on the field and hopefully set for a full 90, perhaps at least a good 60, 70 minutes, whilst might still be nursing just one or two niggles before getting into full physical fitness. Indeed, just going back to our slightly earlier point, City do have 4 changes in their starting 11 last weekend, all for very, very good calls. 4 young ladies, all on national duty. And so I'm sure we can all agree we do wish likes of Dalligor Birchmore, Kira Saris, Kay Jugovic and Isabella Racco all the very best as they represent their country at the height of junior women's football. Certainly names to keep an eye on for future years to come as they look towards breaking on into the senior international teams and spending their place as future to lead stars, perhaps sooner rather than later. Otherwise, for our sign-ups this afternoon, the visitors, we have number 1, Charlotte Ray Horrison, number 6, Elle Talevsky, number 7, Natalie Olsen, number 10, the aforementioned Dragana Klajic, number 16, Alana Filipovic, number 22, Eva Harrington, number 30, Holly Massey, number 34, Rhiannon O'Looney, number 35, Mitsu Yamada, number 41, Navalin Kerr, and number 50, their captain, Georgia Henderson. Henderson herself, back from recent injury. Certainly, plenty of Preston players in their senior squad been struggling with injuries and certainly contributing to where they are presently in the table. Otherwise, for our hosts, we have number 4, Liliana Lamarche, number 5, Heidi Dry, number 8, their captain, Chelsea Biggs, number 7, Sienna Calvinese, number 12, Mary Brown, number 13, Maya Capitano, number 14, the recent birthday girl, Ellie Kirkby, number 18, Ella Hamilton, number 19, Jamie Marandola, number 24, Cornelia Loss, and in goal today, number 26, Anastasia Kiriakou. Nicely, Kiriakou made her senior NPL debut against Preston last season. So it'll be interesting to see how the young keeper goes this afternoon. Ray Horrison there, just putting a dapper on the play. And while this young City side are absolutely relentless in their attack for a good 60, 70 minutes of play, I do need to just keep an eye on their stamina. So it's understandable why they would force themselves so strongly, so hard for as long as they can consistently and hope to secure their position as much as they can. Here's Kirkby, towed by Looney. She's able to beat the Briton. City looking quite positive here in the attack. Ball is sent in towards Marandola. Marandola not exactly linking up the ball there. Still very much early days here at Casey Fields in what is an absolutely spectacular day for football. Barely a cloud in the sky. Calvinese. Switch is called, switch is sent. Consider get their cross in. Pressure's coming from, looks to be Henderson there. Ray Horrison collects as the offside flag is raised by one of our assistant referees. Indeed, speaking of refereeing departments, this afternoon they are led by Kazra Sanavi, Labrini Uliaris and Lynn Showman Yan on assistant referee duties. Otherwise, on the full fees board this afternoon, we've got Hannah Reese. Once more with Ray Horrison. Looks wide for the Japanese national in Mitsu Yamada. Kerr. Ray Horrison. Thumped forward by Talevski. She finds O'Looney. O'Looney just running out of space there on that far side wing. O'Looney, one of two English players in this Preston Lions side. The other in Valentine Percy, not in our squad for today. Again, another player with some injury issues. A very, very constant motif for this Preston side. Kerr stays centrally for Talevski. Henson goes to the ground. Talevski, firm tackle. Might be a little bit more contact than intended. As we see Capitano still on the ground. As is now Talevski. It looks like he might have pulled something there, Ellie Talevski. And with that as well, we do have a quick boot change on the sideline. Not something you often see. And so with that, chance for a quick team talk for Melbourne City, as well as potentially a quick drink. And certainly, given the weather today, it is unseasonal for the time of year, as it freshens to break into the high 20s. At present, it is apparently 25 degrees, according to our sensors here in the very delightful media box at Casey Fields. Certainly one of the benefits of being down at a club with Sandies in the A-League is our own facilities certainly get a nice little boost as club budgets are able to stretch just that little bit further. Indeed, it's not often you can get air conditioning inside scaffolding as well. Now, it's great to see Capitano is back on her feet. Not exactly looking too beyond pain there. But a few stretches, but one of those where, with magic spray and all that, should be right to continue. As for Talevski, well, she's come off to the sidelines for looks things. Now, as I mentioned, Preston have had so many injuries with their senior squad. It's almost Shakespearean in the level of tragedy they've had to deal with. And quite unfortunate, especially if Talevski is forced to come off so early in this football match. And it looks to be that we will be having a change here. Yep, that change is confirmed. And it will be the young number 55, Erica Ditella, replacing Ellie Talevski. Which, while on one hand it is a fantastic opportunity for Ditella, on the other hand, you've got to feel for Talevski. It is barely 10 minutes into this game, and you're forced off due to, in part, pre-existing injury, but just the worst case scenario going wrong from a player's point of view. So hopefully, a nice rapid recovery for Ellie Talevski. If you are watching this back after this game was being live, hopefully we do get to see it back on the pitch nice and soon. It's also back on the pitch is Mike Capitano, who rejoined the game alongside the substitute in D. Teller. Kiriakou collects with some authority there. City looking keen to counter. Massey with the interception. Well time collection there by the ever stalwart midfielder. Kirkby making use of her far side wing there. She's only got plenty of numbers, as she had with Artie Dry there, which is out of the tuck in when needed. Alright, we don't often see it within the division. Sydney making use of those defensive midfielders and having a little bit of formational flexibility. Certainly has been quite a strength for theirs of recent. While results haven't always gone their way, it's certainly shown a greater integrity to their game and ability to adapt as things progress. Ball sent in by Massey. Won't find Olsen, the Thai international.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. That's Holly. There you go, Holly. Bravo. Bravo. Hindo, comms to read. Yeah, give her comms. Time, yeah. Time, yeah. Forward.
Here's D. Teller with the throw. Nice bit of distance there. He does find Olsen. Olsen got 2 bodies around her to really take advantage of the situation. Massey, pressured, but not yet defeated. Able to play it for Olsen. Preston in our blind spot. Ball sent in. While there's no certainty for ourselves whether or not there was deflection in the process, goal kick has been awarded. Kirkby. Kiriakou is tapping on. Massive with the interception. Here's Filipovic, needing support. Chucks in for Navaline Kerr. Yamada returns for Kerr. Harrington, Kerr, Yamada, near side wing with D. Teller now. Carvanese really trying to amp up this pressure. Olsen sends it forward towards O'Looney. O'Looney can't get the touch. Well timed interception there by Heidi Dry. Plays out for the corner. Clear ball, sent high, sent deep, still in danger for City. Massey not quite getting the shot she wants there. Volley out for a goal kick. And it's about 15 minutes played here at Casey Fields. It remains 0-0 between Melbourne City and Preston in our Senol NPLW matchweight 10. Klajic, Filipovic, intercepted by Marandola. Klajic In safety, in for Yamada. Now with Kerr. Looking wide for Harrington. As trying to progress. Dry, forcing it out and winning the throw. Nice clever bit of play there from the young City defender. Biggs. Hamilton. Hit 1-2 there for Hamilton. This time she looks a bit more further forward into Brown. Mary Brown certainly having quite a few productive weeks in the last few match weekends. She's presently City's top goal scorer with 2 to her name, as well as 2 assists. So not only is she showing increasing promise up front, but also increasing support, which is just as critical in a team game like football. Massey finds O'Looney. O'Looney gets a touch, but can't control in the moment. Kirikou out for safety. Yamada. Quick 1-2 with Kerr. Returning for Kerr. Yamada strikes it long. Alton does get there first, crosses in, but just doesn't have the angle in her favour there. Out for a goal kick. And so far, as we're around about that 20-minute mark, overall, we are seeing that relative dominance that Melbourne City do have in terms of possession. They've been a lot more controlling than Preston, while Preston, when they are getting forward, do look to be in that better position overall. So far, perhaps expectations would be they would be able to do a little bit more of it. And perhaps that's also shown in recent results where things aren't always the greatest. Now that being said, and in direct contradiction to that statement as well, their comeback last weekend at Killar Park, coming from 2 goals down to scrape that draw, was certainly one of the most impressive comebacks we've seen, not just in this season, but in Preston's time within the top flight of Victorian women's football. Henderson trying to physically force the ball through her marker. Capitano cutting for Dry. Here's the loss. Marandola looking centrally. There's Marandola. Got to be really careful here. City have the numbers. Well, they might lack an experience, they certainly have the ability. Massey. Klajic. Sends Olsen.
Go, Nat. All the way, Nat. You got her.
Olsen just looking for wit over brute force there.
Easy, Erica. Easy, Erica. Easy, Erica. There you go.
Hamilton coming back for Kirikou.
Hendo across.
Henderson intercepting without any real pressure from T to keep possession there.
You have to drop for option because they're going to press you high every time.
So one of those balls where it seemed like everyone else was adamant that their teammates had it. Oh, some things do come with further experience. Certainly, you would assume there'd be just a bit more switched on there with their spatial awareness. Loss in for Capitano. Innocent briefly regained possession. It's more with loss. Marandola. Capitano. Dry.
Don't drop.
Dry, unable to find the friendly option. Cuts back for loss. Kirikou. Hamilton. Biggs with supports. Mash. Marandola. Great bit of footwork there from the young midfielder. O'Looney battling against Biggs. Support from Harrington. Olsen sent. Kirikou a bit too quick there for the Thai international. Harrington once more. Can't connect with O'Looney. Brown. Forward ball there in for Kirkby. Not quite able to find the young Queenslander. One of a couple of interstate imports is Ellie Kirkby. I mean, join us from Lions FC. Very much the titans of NPL football up in the Sunshine State. Capitano takes back for loss. Kirikou. And Kim is certainly having a cracking day so far in goal. And from one keeper to the other, here's Ray Horrison.
You have to, Alana. Alana, you have to.
And while Ray Horrison is certainly on the young side of things, certainly had years in the game beyond what her age might suggest at senior level. Indeed, the young Preston keeper is not too far away from her 100th NPL senior women's appearance, at least. Oh, well, that will be next season if things progress as expected. She is on 69 appearances for today, which is certainly no short feat, being in their early 20s. Well, soon to be early 20s anyway. Filipovic. Here's Kerr. Yamada lobs it over the midfield. And a back down to earth by Lamarge. And the offside flag is raised. Yamada. Teller. Massey. Very much continuing to act as that firm central point of pivot for Preston. Holly Massey very much one of the finest midfielders in the division. Henderson clearing the area for Preston. Olsen gains control. O'Looney. Massey. Switches for Henderson. Plays for Olsen. She battles against loss. Olsen is able to get a cross in. That's a flat ball. Back with Olsen. Ball sent in. But not troubling the keeper there. And certainly it is a good afternoon for football with our other Saturday game this match weekend for the top flight. Another game that is very much critical in the potential relegation battle, where Heidelberg will be hosting Keilor Park. Keilor also presently in that mix on 9 points. Heidelberg just held them on 12. But depending on how things go today here at Casey Fields, certainly go a long way into dictating what is required a little bit later on at the Olympic Village. Well, certainly plenty of action in the NPL last night. It's got to be a record 4 games for a Friday night so far this year, with South Melbourne defending Avenel 2-1 at Lakeside. Otherwise, in finals contenders, it was a 2-2 draw at Wembley Park between Boxhill and Bulleen. A 4-1 win on the road for the Melbourne Victory, the other A-League development side in the division. Otherwise, at Kingston Heath, it was a 7-0 thumping of Bentley for the visiting Essendon. Yeah, certainly not a bad ball from O'Looney. Just not quite curving how she was trying to set herself up for there. But Preston certainly showing intent here. And all they really need to do so far is just slightly tweak their touch in that final third. And they should really be pressuring young City keeper. Who certainly not too far off coming a little bit undone there. Something Ray Horrison certainly fortunate to have such aware teammates. Mr. Yamada certainly seeming knowing where everyone is at the right time, at the right place. The Japanese national having great awareness of the game and certainly very strong technical ability. Here's Henderson. Looks for Olsen, who might be offside there. Flags kept down. And perhaps just the angle from the media box that just wasn't quite in their favour. So there's been some tight margins here at Casey Field over the season. And a few controversial moments. Though, with tremendous credit to our refereeing department, if you go back over those controversial moments, it would take a lot to argue against them not being the correct calls. Have been absolutely fantastic this season. As always, our referees here in the NPL. And once more, Preston find themselves caught in the offside position, this time very, very deep in that final third. As things stand, just about 10 minutes to go until that half-time whistle. It is still 0-0 here at Casey Fields. Overall, a rather resolute performance from the young Melbourne City side. They haven't really shown so much promise in that final third today as of yet. Of course, there's still a whole other 45 to go. And perhaps a change of wings off this field of play could be to their benefit. Well, yet again, we do find ourselves with a Preston player down. Just trying to confirm their identity for you.
Hey, Holly.
Looks as though it was a Looney there. Is now back on her feet regardless. Certainly great to see. As we mentioned a couple of times already during this fixture, Preston have really struggled this season with injuries. As last weekend they lost another one of their senior players to injury, that being Olivia Edwards, who's been such a key part of their defence this campaign. And to anyone who's met them, certainly agree, they are one of the loveliest humans you will ever meet.
Shuffle across Endo. Delay, Eva.
Kirkby just tapping it behind there for Biggs to chase up. Cross sent in. Not challenging Ray Horison's goal just quite. So they are starting to get a bit further forward, a bit more confident in that final third. And if they continue in that progression, well, they certainly should be starting to give the Preston keeper a few things to be concerned about more consistently, at least. As we are now very much in those final 10 minutes regulated for this half.
Draw.
Yamada tucks back for Ray Horison. Ray Horison looking for the switch. I can't find, can only assume was the intended target there in Eva Harrington. Ray Horson making great use of her feet there. Certainly showing off her ability in the arts. That's often a mandate for all keepers in the modern footballing age, at being able to make use of their feet and act as an 11th truly outfield player. Last week became very much an appreciated art in any level of the game. Chance here for the hosts. Citizens not quite guessing what they were desiring, but shot on is always a positive step forward, with Marandola providing a moment of opportunity.
Stop dropping.
And offside is awarded there. So a chance for Preston just to get a little bit more space back for themselves, allowing them to breathe. Pressure certainly been steadily increasing for them in the last few minutes in particular, as the swing of the metronome certainly turning in City's favour. You shall progress regardless via the throw. The drag having a couple of options. Ultimately looks to try and send Marandola, who's one of a couple of goal scorers in last weekend's 5-1 defeat of Bentley. So a great bit of team play there between Yamada and Ray Horrison. Unfortunately for Ray Horrison, Marandola was not too far away and coming in a bit too quick. Ray Horrison now on the deck in a lot of pain, looking as though there's at least contact against his shoulder. Certainly a situation we will keep an eye on. We'll get back to you shortly. In the meantime, our two teams have a chance to have a quick talk, quick drinks break. And this certainly adds to the injury concerns that Preston have had, given an already one injury mandated substitution in this half. Very much early on, around about the 10th minute mark. Ellie Talevsky forced off and Eric Teller brought on. Our concerns are very much high at the moment for Preston. They do have their substitute keeper, Emilia Cable, just doing a few light stretches just in case they're needed. While the teams do return to the field after their quick chat and chance for a quick drink, Ray Horson is still on the ground being checked by their physio. And it looks to be more of an ankle type situation. It's what them initially, as they came down, to be holding more around upper body to their left side. So it wasn't the cleanest angle to make a guess, but they are now thankfully back on their feet, which is great to see. And so Ray Horrison will get us back underway. And certainly, thankfully for Preston, from their perspective, not having to have a second injury mandate substitution. It is very much great to see the young sharp Ray Harrison able to carry on, at least for the next 10 minutes, well, 5 minutes or so left to play here in this first half. Certainly include at least a few minutes of injury time. Detella looks for Ray Harrison. Ray Harrison for Kerr. Thumping ball there from Fulkovic. And that was Preston. Again, plenty of space up that far side wing. He's Massey. Couple of challenges in there that I was a bit cautious of. Both sides really feeling the psychological pressure that each side is exerting upon them. Dry. Playing back into Kiriko. Loss. Biggs. Quick 1-2 with Dry. Biggs under pressure. Dry able to regain possession. And a nice bit of footwork there. Always enjoyable to see a bit of flair at any level of the game. Here's Massey. Sends it long. It's going to be quite chase for Olsen. Olsen gets head to it and a touch. And there's our opener. Once again, in back-to-back weeks, Natalie Olsen finds herself sending that ball into the back of the net. Unfortunate moment there for the Melbourne City keeper, who can only physically do so much. But irregardless, going to half-time, it will be Melbourne City 0, Preston 1.
Easy now. Now. Holly, don't jump, Holly! Holly, don't jump!
And instantly you see that intent from City. They can't go into half-time and goal down. They have just gone up to 11 for these last few minutes. And time is very much not their friend. As we wait the official confirmation from our fourth official.
There you go.
And it will be 5 minutes added on here at Casey Fields. And so perhaps there will just be enough time for City to get that equaliser going to the half-time break.
Force back. Bravo.
Lamarge battling against Klajec. Massey looks to Sendo Looney. The Brit gets control here. Henderson, not quite the touch she wants there. Ball still in play just about, as it will go out for a corner.
It's coming straight to you. Just have to get a flick on. Okay? Eva, sit. Alana, on the edge. Eva, sit. Yeah. Alana on the edge.
And it looks like as though it is Klajec who sends it in there. All going deep. Still in danger for City. Massey. Fight ball. Not quite as concerning as the initial.
Track.
Flick on by Kirkby.
Track D,
Won't
keep
play
going.
bigs. Kirkby still keeping hold of things. Can beat O'Looney. Can't beat Filipovic. Olsen!
Unlucky.
Ultimately, high on the target there. Very much shaping up to be, yes, another tremendous afternoon for the Thai international.
Easy D, easy D. There you go. Easy D, easy D. We just did what easy.
Again, another potential injury concern there for O'Looney and Preston.
Gonna work. Just track.
Play carries on though. And Grazie O'Looney back on her feet.
Line up pressure. Don't stop back anymore.
Massey.
Bravo. Forward run, Reed.
Still with Massey. Could send O'Looney. Could send Olsen. Will she go alone? She goes alone.
Unlucky, unlucky.
Curves the ball against her there, and it will be a goal kick for the citizens.
What did we add on? Did we put up the ball? First half? Did we have that many downs? Yes, that! Oh! That's a press straight to the keeper.
Henderson. Not really got anyone to playing for there. So at most, a psychological ball there from the Preston captain.
Easy, Erica. Easy, Erica. You heard the call. You heard the call. Calm.
Ball into Ray Horrison. And we have just shy of 90 seconds of the 5 minutes initially indicated. Henderson. Massey. D. Teller.
Go, D. Good idea, track. Good.
Intercepted
Easy,
by
Holly.
Capitano. Capitano once more.
Hey, Holly, there. I can't afford that, Holly.
Making use of dry under very firm pressure with O'Looney. Both O'Looney and Dry have been having a bit of a game to themselves this afternoon.
Matt, higher.
Aaron Dola. Plays for Biggs, her captain. Biggs under pressure. Nice support.
Offside.
And won't. No, yes. The offside flag is eventually raised there.
Hey, we'll take the offside.
And so with that, it's been 5 minutes. That whistle shouldn't be too far off here. And there we go. It's half time at Casey Fields here in our Senol NPLW clash between Melbourne City and Preston. The half time scores for match week 10. It is presently Melbourne City 0, Preston 1. We'll be back in about 15 minutes or so for all the second half action here in a very, very pristine Casey Fields. And welcome back to our Match Week 10 broadcast of the Senol NPLW clash here at Casey Fields between Melbourne City and Preston. So far, just the one goal in this game, thanks to clever bit of play from the Thai international, Natalie Olsen. As things stand, no firm confirmation of any substitutions. As we do wait the remainder of our refereeing department make their way onto the field of play, as of course our host for the afternoon, that could very quickly change. But as things stand, there's been no paperwork given to our fourth official. And so things very much may well continue as they did in the first half, with just the one substitution made, an injury mandated substitution for Preston, with Ellis Levski coming off for Erica D. Teller.
Go, Preston!
As things stand, there will be no substitutions going into the second half. And so a quick recap of the present lineups for you all at home. Commencing with the visitors. Number 1, Charlotte Ray Horrison. Number 7, Natalie Olsen. Number 10, Jordana Klajic. Number 16, Alana Filipovic. Number 22, Eva Harrington. Number 30, Eva Holly Massey. Number 34, Rhiannon O'Looney. Number 35, Mitsu Yamada. Number 41, Natalie Kerr. Number 50, Georgia Henderson. And number 55, Erica D. Teller. As for the hosts, they remain number 4, Liliana Lamarche. Number 5, Heidi Dry. Number 8, Chelsea Biggs. Number 11, Tina Carvanese. Number 12, Mary Brown. Number 13, Maya Capitano. Number 14, Ellie Kirkby. Number 18, Ella Hamilton. Number 19, Jamie Marandola. 24, Cornelia Loss. Number 26, Anastasia Kirikou. Harrington with the throw for Preston. Ultimately, decides to try and play short for our captain in Henderson. So they're not the cleanest line of sight for us. Though thankfully, we do have a window, so we will try and describe things as best we can. We might leave at that particular moment. Let's go out for a goal kick. Capitano hoofs it long, brought under control via the body of D. Teller. It will be a throw for Preston.
Ollie, organise the shapes, if it's out. On the opposite tip. He's going to go. Set aside, babe. Liner. Liner. Ollie stays 10. D drop as the 8. D behind you.
Dry.
D behind you.
Returns for Loss. Loss under pressure. almost undone there. Capitano switching across for Hamilton. Marsh will have to turn over via the throw. And a free kick there after the off the ball contact there upon Clutch. Free kick set into the 18-yard area by Yamada. Shouts for a handball. Is play on here at Casey Fields. Harrington. Massey. Filipovic from range. Not going to trouble to keep it quite this occasion. And regardless, it is the visiting Lionesses with the goal advantage as things stand. Otherwise, at the Olympic Village, our other Saturday afternoon game between Heidelberg and Keilor Park should be kicking off just a shake of a lamb's tail. That cracking bit of play from Jagana Clutch makes it 2-0 for the visitors. And that certainly helped their goal difference, as at present they do remain 12th purely on goal difference. And so, just slightly, they statistically close the gap in with Keilor Park. Clutch. O'Looney. Henderson. Won't quite send through Olsen there. Kuriku needs to be careful. Interception. Charge here for Preston. Shot is on and the flag is down. That is now Melbourne City 0, Preston 3 in the space of 5 minutes here at Casey Fields. I'm just trying to reconfirm the goal scorer for you. He's big, under pressure. Confident challenge there from Filipovic. Kerr.
No cross.
Ray Harrison gets the initial save as it goes out for a corner.
Hey, she kicked it out. I think she was already out. Hey, the thing is, it's already out. Hey, set us up! Hendo, organise! Get them organised! Focus, Charlotte, focus! Hey, I think the ball was clearly out. Let's go!
And it was
That's it now!
the push on Holly Massey there who had the goal for Preston. You see the corner swung in up the other end of the field. It's fisted away by Ray Harrison.
Away! Away! Yes!
Hoofed up by Massey. Should be brought down by Olsen. She is, and it's flicked on. Detella trying to amp up the pressure against Hamilton. But it is Hamilton in control here. So Marsh plays the area. So they are very much in danger here. Henderson wins the throw. Bang in front of our filming position. Looks for a captain. Henderson flicking it on for O'Looney. And free kick awarded. Much to the pleasure of a couple of Preston players. So understandably so, but the whistle is ultimately the whistle. And per the great eternal wisdom of football, you always play to the whistle, no matter what. Massey. Under pressure. Might have been a bit of tug on the shirt there as well. Filipovic. Returns for Massey. Filipovic again. Klajic. Tries to flick on for Olsen. Olsen not quite on the safe wavelength there. As we'll go out for a goal kick. It is Preston 3 goals up here at Casey Fields. Without really any major response from Melbourne City. That's certainly understandable given that they have 4 of their core senior players on international duty at the moment. While this game could have been postponed due to that, the legal requirement is for 5 missing players as opposed to 4. So there's something as we'll change to pre-game of a few Melbourne City staff. They weren't too pleased at the situation they had to work with. Nonetheless, they're certainly showing some resoluteness in dealing with the circumstances and making the most of things. While City are 3 goals down, they're certainly not playing as though they're a side 3 down. Looking still ever confident, which is great to see. This young City side truly never say die. Here's Marandola. Very physically challenged there by Kerr. There's some game possession. Klajic. Massey sends Olsen. It's too far to chase on this occasion. Kiriku's ball. She goes wide for Marsh. Throw for Preston. Here's D. Teller. Plays for Olsen. Olsen for Massey. Kerr looks wide for Harrington. Henderson caught out there in the moment.
Good.
Filipovic. Olsen. Filipovic. Yamada. And for Kerr. Kerr under pressure from Brown. She cuts in for Ray Horrison, her keeper. Yamada, tailed by Marandola. As the ball's turned over. So you've got to be careful here. Henson tucks back in for safety. Almost a very dangerous ball there. Something that Ray Horrison was on top of things. Showing both her experience and instinct as a goalkeeper. Definitely one of the best young keeping talents we have in this division. And someone that surely sets to do great things in the future of her career. And we shall have our first substitution of the afternoon for our hosts. Coming off the pitch is number 4, Liana Lamarge. She is replaced by the number 40, Tia Kotsounders. So both sides now on substitution apiece. Biggs looks to try and send Capitano. Can't quite find it this time around. He is eventually with Capitano. Ball sent it. Briefly finds Brown, but Brown just can't commit to the circumstance. Kirkby forces the save from Ray Horrison. While not particularly challenging ball, it is on the few strikes on target the City side have managed so far this afternoon. Dry. Kotsounders getting her first touches of the afternoon. Here's Kirikou. Ball somehow managing to find Capitano. And it continues just to roll on and roll high. Throw for City, deep in their opposing final third. And so, can they make something of the opportunity? Not this time around. Here's Kerr. Filipovic. Very firm ball wide for Harrington. Harrington just not quite as ready as Filipovic was hoping there. Drive with the throw. Just find the aerial boot of Kirkby. There's the aerial boot of Brown there. As I'm sure you can see it at home, the field of play to our left is not the most clear-sighted, due in part to the scaffolding. Here's Klajec. Klajec tucks in for Massey. Can Massey go alone here? She's already scored once this afternoon. Takes back in for Filipovic. Filipovic from range. And while a little bit optimistic, certainly wasn't a bad ball there from the Preston midfielder, Alana Filipovic. And out for a throw. Clutch. Not quite able to link up for Teller there.
Just tell him to calm down, settle. Regain possession, reset. Play.
So once more, City with the throw. As they look to break out of their own half. Cot Sanders. O'Looney. O'Looney! Kept out by Kirikou. Kirkby. The pressure from Henderson. Filipovic. Harrington. Henderson. Sends O'Looney forward. O'Looney looking for the cross into Olsen. Olsen! Ooh. Unfortunate final touch there for the Thai international. As things stand, after 66 minutes, it is Melbourne City 0, Preston Lions 3 here at Casey Fields. Now match rate 10, Senol NPLW clash. Well, it's very much already a relegation battle, despite us still being in April. Sanders plays it long, trying to inspire a bit of build-up. Calvinese. Cot Sanders. In for Dry. Momentum stuffed by O'Looney. So now, Kirkby's attempt to try. Loss. Kirkby. Cot Sanders. For our captain, Biggs. Biggs from range. Not a bad idea there from the City captain. But not quite the touch she was wanting there. Filipovic. Allison long. Intercept in time for O'Looney or Olsen was really able to stamp their authority on things. It's now present with O'Looney. Harrington. Biggs. Brown almost caught out there. Here's Kirkby. O'Looney regaining possession. Henderson. In for Klajec. Olsen. Looks wide for Teller. Massey. Now with Kerr. Harrington. Henderson. Klajec. Klajec under pressure. As the ball turns over, got Sanders. Was looking strong in their momentum. Henderson just had the experience to know how to deal with it. Here's Dry. Biggs. I do apologise there if any strong language was picked up by FX Mike. As you can see, much for the heat today. Emotions are certainly picking up there on the field of play. Biggs under pressure. Forced to play backwards in for Calvinese. Cross sent in. Collected by Ray Horrison. Certainly having a strong afternoon, the Preston goalkeeper. Calls for a foul there against Olsen. Let's play on there. Biggs. Looks to send Capitano. Might be offside there. Unless Capitano is out to have a shot as Ray Horrison collects the ball and snuffs out that potential. As we're into the final 20 minutes of regulation time here at Casey Fields. It is Preston presently 3 ahead. Thanks to Natalie Olsen, Dragana Klajc and Holly Massey this afternoon. And speaking of one of those three, here's Klajc now. In for Olsen. Olsen looks across it in. O'Looney! Oh, you're not going to get much closer than that. How about Henderson? Denied by Kirikou. Kirikou stuffing things out on top of that ball. That was a great bit of keeping there from the young City keeper. And while this isn't their first senior NPL cap, I did noticeably make their senior debut against Preston last season. Overall, this is Kirikou's third senior NPL appearance. Klajc. Ball's turned over.
One of you, one! Yeah, keep going, Holly. Let's go ahead and go.
Now with Kirkby. That's the battle to hold possession. Once more, play is beyond our field division.
Set us up! Set us up!
Right. Everyone getting ready for a corner. Be interesting just to see what transpires in the next few moments.
Short!
Corner is played short. Bouncing out for a goal kick. As things stand, there's certainly plenty of movement from the Preston bench. So we're having a quick stretch. And so there might be one or two adjustments coming in for the final 15 minutes or so. As things stand, nothing really needs to be adjusted for Adam Koloki's side, who have been having a terrific afternoon here at Casey Fields. And at most, if they were to make another change, it would be more just to rest players who need, well, this could use an extra 10-15 minutes of rest. As I said, it will be a substitution for our hosts. As we're just trying to confirm the numbers for you. Well, we do have a bird's eye view. Fortunately, it's not the right sheets, which have been given to our fourth official, who is being quite secretive at the moment, much to our frustration. Coming off the pitch is number 12, Mary Brown. And number 24, Cornelia Loss. Okay, onto the pitch is number 30, Daniela Trinic. As for the other substitution, we're just trying to confirm their number for you. As for this as well, 5 minutes away from making their next substitution. And the other substitution was number 32, Eva Chopin for Melbourne City. And that is a tremendous save there from Anastasia Kirikou. Well, certainly they've been having a bit of a tough afternoon in the office. They have been making some tremendous saves. Corner ball, ripped in. Eventually bouncing into Klajic. Klajic sends the cross back across. O'Looney, the volley. Very much just more trying to get things forward. And hoping someone has a slightly better angle just to come in and finish the job. Ultimately, goal kick. As that Preston substitution is certainly not too far away. And we can confirm it will be the number 29, Isabella Trubiano, set to come on. And so plenty of options for Trubiano to replace. And we're interesting just who gets that final adjustment. Just a couple of minutes time. As Klajic is unfortunately not quite close enough to doubling her tally for the afternoon. Will be a corner. So still chance for Preston to extend their lead. Presently 3 goals to the Lionesses. Corner ball, ripped in. Henderson does get a head to it. Ricocheting off the back of Hamilton's head. Ball still in play. Collected by Klajic. Klajic tapping for Massey. In for Filipovic, who strikes again from range. This time it will bounce out for a goal kick. And so Preston will make that change now. As we can confirm, once again, it is the number 29, Isabella Trubiano, set to come on. That window will have to wait just for a moment longer. It's perhaps just a slight lack of communication between our refereeing department to make that substitution, which will now go ahead. And coming off the pitch is the number 34, the Briton, Rhiannon O'Looney. As she's replaced by the number 29, Isabella Trubiano. Long throw sent in. Henderson, touch. Not quite able to get the control down in the moment. Massey, battling for possession. A chance maybe, not quite. Here's Olsen. Kirikou holds the ball. And certainly one of the most important saves she will make this afternoon. Dry. Kirkby. Looks to send things long, but won't find Marandola on this occasion. The throw will, but Marandola needs to fight against Teller, who does receive the free kick after some rather handsy contact there from the young winger. And we are very much now officially in the final 10 minutes of regulation time. As things stand, now match week 10 clash between Melbourne City and Preston for the Senol NPLW. It is Melbourne City 0, Preston 3. What should be 3 well-earned and very much highly needed points for the Lionesses. As for City, well, it certainly makes things a bit more complicated in their battle to remain in the First Division. Otherwise, as things presently stand in our other Saturday afternoon game at Olympic Village, it is Heidelberg United 1, Keilor Park 0. Heidelberg for the moment jumping up in the 7th ahead of Avondale. Here's Biggs. Looking to allow Capitano to progress. Capitano, the cross in. Kicked out by Kerr. D. Teller. Massey. Turns to D. Teller. Well, just in the field of play there. Marginally so. Kirkby. Able to keep possession. Dry. Looks for Capitano. Gets ahead to it, but can't flick herself further forward. Teller marshalling the ball for Ray Horrison to deal with.
Don't wait there, that's you.
Who just seizes Capitano. Always enjoyable seeing those petty mind games between players. Adds an extra element of drama to the game. Massey.
Good call, Bella, good call. Hey, unlucky. Work, Nat, work, Bella, work. What have you worked?
Marandola. Klajic with the interception. Here's Flipovic. Kirkby. Regain control for City. Hamilton. Cott Sanders. The ball's hoofed up. Has eventually landed at the feet of Kirkby after a couple of rebounds of sorts off Preston players as they try to control the direction of play. Hamilton. Biggs. Clutch with the interception. Relatively unfault there. Clutch again. Sends the ball in towards goal. Won't challenge the keeper on this occasion. The ball looking more as though just trying to feed a teammate and just hope someone can get round and do something a little bit more threatening there. Massey. Henderson. Kerr. Flipovic. Will Trubiano get there first? Not quite. Goal kick, Melbourne City. As we now have 5 minutes remaining in regulation time. As things stand, it would be a resolute resistance from Melbourne City. Not exactly one they've been able to make much of. So it doesn't help that they've had 4 of their senior players unavailable for today, as they are on international duties with the junior Matildas. So on one hand, it is a great situation for any club. On the other, dealing with a game when you're missing 4 key players, it doesn't help proceedings in the slightest. Ball played on there after what looks to be a bit of a low-range throw. Kirkby holding on with some resound. Plays wide for Chopin. Harrington holding back Chopin. Plays for Trubiano. Sanders. Sanders again. Looks to set up Capitano. Capitano gets a shot on. She shoots. Repelled by Ray Holson. Ball still in danger. Follow-up strike. High for the targets. Will be goal kick for the Lionesses. Held by City, making one final substitution for the game. Coming off pitch, number 19, Jamie Marandola. She's replaced by number 23, Joanna Zoas.
Let's keep the energy, Preston. Keep the energy up. Lance, come on. You keep playing.
Kerr with Yamada. Says long up towards Olsen. Massey brings it down, however. And so able to play a bit more of a direct ball for Olsen, who sends the cross in. Held back by Hamilton. Still in play. Massey. Teller. Looks for Olsen. Won't quite get there in time as it goes out for a goal kick for the Citizens. Preston will make a quick double change. And coming on for Preston, well, it's the Papaleo twins, Adelia and Eva. Come off the pitch is the number 16, Alana Filipovic, and the number 10, Dragana Klajic. Dry. Biggs. Collected by Massey. Trubiano just about gets the first touch, but she has to battle against Hamilton. And it will be a Preston ball. Trubiano looking a bit sore after that challenge. As we just break in to injury time, we are awaiting official confirmation. Well, there we go. No time to be added on there. That answers that question between our fourth official and the Preston gaffer. Why? No need for confirmation when there is only just seconds to be played. Fair enough, given the radio silence for our fourth official. Well, with that, we do have our full-time score for our match week 10 Senol NPLW clash between Melbourne City and Preston. It is Melbourne City 0, Preston Lions 3. Thanks to goals from Natalie Olsen, Jagana Klage and Holly Massey. Overall, 3 very much needed points for a rather struggling Preston, very much unaided by a high injury count among the senior squad. As Melbourne City, well, they were strong in their resolve. Unfortunately for them, with too many key players out missing due to international duty, things were just a bit flat for them this afternoon. And so on to next week as they look to remain in the top flight in their own relegation battle. Otherwise, in our other Saturday afternoon game between Heidelberg and Keilor Park, this has just gone 1-1 at the Olympic Village going into their half-time break. But from all us here at Casey Fields, I've been William Bennett, and until next time, cheerio.